Yeah, it's right here. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us for this afternoon game. It's right at about a 3 p.m. start. The Furia Scout Rip City Raiders taking on the Wisconsin Elite today. First pitch swinging from Nick Smith with Rip City. Rips a single into left field. I'm Jarrett Guthrie. We're here with Stream Live Tampa. My partner today, Malachi Perez. Mikey, how you doing?
Feeling good after getting that lunch in. We're ready for game 3 of the day, and we're off to a roaring start with a base hit right off the bat.
Hezekiah Rodriguez steps into the plate for Rip City. Hezekiah had a single and was hit by a pitch in the game just previous to this, where Rip City fell to the Rawlings Tigers. Wisconsin Elite picked up a win earlier today against the Sticks Browning. Hezekiah looks at the second ball of his at-bat. Number 73, Addison Latko, pitching for your Wisconsin Elite. We appreciate everybody joining us in on Facebook and on YouTube. Feel free to send us some comments on Facebook, and we'll try to answer as many questions, or if you have name corrections or anything like that, please let us know. It is a lot of teams we're seeing in a short period of time, and so we are going to make some mistakes. If changes come in, they usually come to the official table, but these don't always make it over to the broadcast table. If you came on earlier, pitch for ball 4, Rodriguez walks. If you came on earlier and you heard the sound wasn't quite on yet, that was because copyright infringements we can't really play when live music's playing. That includes the national anthem, which was sung beautifully by Heather Duran before this game.
Fantastic.
Lovely job. Luis Castillo, who's an extra hitter today. Castillo played some catcher and some first base in the last game, made a great kind of barrel rolling catch of a foul ball in front of first base in the previous game. He also smashed probably the hardest hit ball we saw all day, smashed a double to left field in his team's 3-run 4th inning.
That ball was absolutely smoked.
Yeah, he got a lot of it. Thought it might go for a ground rule double, but second bounce went right off the wall. So 1-1 count here on Castillo, 2 aboard to start this game for the Rip City Raiders.
Latko in a little distress. I don't think he's going to be able to continue on the mound.
Yeah, it looks like he's limping kind of gingerly on that right ankle. Hopefully he'll be okay. Nothing serious.
So game 3 of 4 today here at the Tropicana Field, home of your Tampa Bay Rays, or my Tampa Bay Rays if you're local.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Latko played in the early morning game, had a single, reached on an error, stole 3 bases, and scored twice. So you hate to see him have to be pulled out in this situation. Looks like they are going to turn to Jason Dewey to take over on the mound.
Dewey's played some solid shortstop throughout this tournament.
He was slotted in here to be an extra hitter in this game, so it looks like he'll just make that adjustment. We'll let you know when Addison Latko's chance comes around in the batting order, but I would imagine if they pulled him, he's probably going to be done for the day, just as a preventative measure. I'm getting a ruling now from our man behind the curtain, Javier Nunez, telling us that he is out of this game for the duration. So you hate to see that, but hopefully he's okay. It's just a cramp or something. If we hear anything, we will let you know for sure.
So early pitching change after a hit and a walk.
Number 5, Jason Dewey's on the mound.
Rip City.
We also should shout out our umpires who've been working pretty hard for us. Over at third base, we have Will Kistler. Behind the plate today, Will Gallant. Josue Torres is going to be at first base, and at second base, it's going to be Jared Neal. Everybody's taking a turn at all 4 positions today for our umpire crew. The Will Kistler was having a good time with this Rip City coaches. Some fun back and forth. You love seeing
Fun banter.
Yeah, you love seeing everybody who comes down here have a good time. You know, the kids, this is a huge experience for them, but you know, the coaches got to love it too, being able to stand in that dugout where the AL champion coach Kevin Cash gets to stand, and then you know, all the visiting teams that come through.
Lou Pinello's been here. The late, great Don Zimmer, whose number's also retired here in Tampa.
Hal McRae. Larry Rothschild. Was that the first manager?
Larry Rothschild was the first manager of the Rays. He's still pitching coach somewhere, maybe San Diego now, but he's bounced around. Always had a job, got the job for the Rays. They wanted to start with great pitching, and that's his forte.
Mm-hmm. It still makes his home in Tampa. Had a couple granddaughters come through the Robinson soccer and flag football program.
Nice.
Larry Rothschild. That ball's up. Count is 2-2 to Luis Castillo.
Two from Dewey.
Just a little bit low. That's going to fill it up. Hopefully we'll be a little more comfortable seeing, as this is the second time we've seen both of these teams today, but it is our 3rd game, so bear with us, folks. That ball is up. That'll load the bases. Castillo reaches first. Rodriguez over to second, and Nick Smith moves on to third. That'll bring up Reggie Samuel. Reggie followed that hard hit double, finding the gap in center field with an RBI triple there in the 4th inning for Rip City in the last game versus the Tigers. That was his lone hit of the day. See if he can get his team on the board early and get him a good start. Reggie Samuel, 5'9", 177 from Texas. That pitch is a strike, 1-1.
Keeping things right on schedule here at the Pro Series Power Showcase.
That ball squirts through the legs, but runner does not advance. Didn't get that far away. Did kind of get partially shielded off of Will Gallant's feet.
Final game today will be 5:45, and there'll be 4 games again tomorrow. Consolation games and then the championship game after everything's reseeded, after all teams have played their 3 games.
That one a little low to Reggie Samuel. 3-1. Chance to pick up an RBI. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. We haven't seen a home run yet today. That'd be nice.
I have not. Saw a couple yesterday get close to, but just not quite out of the ball game.
Ooh, hit that hard. That's hard hit into center field by Samuel. That'll bring in 2 runs and move Castillo up to second base. That's a productive AB there for Reggie Samuel. Rip City up to a 2-0 lead before the first out is recorded. See if they can extend that. That'll bring Malachi Perez, the second baseman, to the plate. Perez was 1 for 3 with an infield single in his first game today. He squares the bunt, puts it in the air. It's going to fall in between pitcher and third baseman. He's going to beat that out. Shows off the wheels. An excellent play. Excellent play there by the third baseman, Daniel Coyle, but he just couldn't beat out the speed of Malachi Perez there. So let's give him a bunt infield single.
Also nicely done by Brett Beyondich on picking that out.
Mm-hmm. So the bases are loaded here, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jake Gray. We saw Gray come in as a reserve in the morning game. Now making the start at catcher in this afternoon affair. That ball's inside 2-0. Reed Robinson goes out to talk to Dewey.
Trying to settle him down a bit. Take the hill unexpectedly early.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm assuming he was expecting to come in at some point today, but yeah, definitely earlier than he thought. That's a strike. 2-1. That's up 3-1.
Beautiful sunshiny day outside in St. Petersburg. Took a little stroll in between games. Got my lunch in. And now back in the cool confines of Tropicana Field.
Misses there, and he'll walk in a run. Credit Gray with an RBI. That'll bring in Luis Castillo. Move everybody around. Right fielder Jake Brown to the plate. No outs here. Rip City Raiders already up to a 3-0 lead. See if Dewey can get that first out. Hit hard into right field. Long run there for Patty Roth, but it's going to fall. Oh no. Josue Torres gives us a foul ball call. All right, I thought that might have got in, but Josue was on the line. He has a better angle than I did.
Patty Roth will tell you if it was fair, he would have caught it.
Ah, absolutely.
So he was that close. So a big sigh of relief for Dewey on the hill as he looks back in with an 0-1 count.
Ooh, nice pitch. 0-2. Jacob Brown, a native of Georgia, 5'4", 115. I feel like a lot of these stats were entered at the beginning of the summer, and a lot of these guys had a little growth spurt.
I believe that.
I'm going 5'5", 5'6" on Jacob Brown right now. Strike 3. Dewey really needed that one. I feel like that was the kind of out that he needed to make happen to turn his day around. As you mentioned, coming in a little rawer than he probably wanted to.
Could definitely settle him down.
Alex Welk, who had a nice relief appearance for his team in the last game, he comes in and wears one in the upper arm. RBI the hard way. That'll make it 4-0. Rip City. Still just one down. Pete Stefanos is up. I went and asked. Stefanos steps to the plate. Left-handed hitter. He's playing left field today. Pete Stefanos. He came in as a pinch runner the last time, and the roster we had only had Pete listed on it, and so I went over and made sure we got it.
And I'm going to continue to call him Pete for the rest of the tournament.
Stefanos.
All right. Stefanos.
Stefanos.
Stefanos. All right.
Good.
Here we go, Pete.
Picking up our Greek pronunciations. We should know better being this close to Tarpon Springs.
I go to Tarpon Springs on more than one occasion.
That ball's going to stay on the ground. We'll get 1 and 2. Excellent.
Pick out again by Beyondich.
Ben Kulich gets that started, flips it over to Max Heineman, and then on to Beyondich for the 6-4-3 double play to end that inning. But the Rip City Elite do pick up 4 runs on 3 hits. 1 man left on base there in the top of the first. We're Stream Live Tampa from Tropicana Field. We'll be back in just a few. All right, folks, we're back here for the bottom half of the first inning. Right-hander Braxton Bullock for the Furia Scout Rip City Raiders takes the mound. He'll face off against catcher Reed Robinson for the Wisconsin Elite. And here's the first pitch from Bullock. A little high for ball one. Robinson walked twice and struck out in the first game of the day. Second pitch just a little bit up. 2-0.
Dan Carolina Juarez and Philip Nicolato popping off on Facebook. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys watching us today. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. Reed Robinson, native of Indiana, catcher and outfielder. 5'8", 155 pounds. He looks at his fastball, 3-1. Bullock goes with a breaking ball there on a 3-0 count. Throws another one up. That'll walk Robinson. So both teams have had their leadoff runners aboard. The last inning, the top of the first was a single. This was a walk. So both teams had their leadoff runner. Let's see if the Elite can be lucky like Rip City and put that run across. That'll bring up Luke Anderson, extra hitter today. Luke came in as a reliever for his team in the first game. 14-year-old. Catcher, third baseman, shortstop, and obviously a relief pitcher as well. Multi-talented at this age. Bats left-handed.
I always say you play as many positions as they'll let you, and then they'll let you know where you're going to end up.
Yep. They're not wrong there. Hits that one hard. Into right field. Jake Brown was on his horse and tracked that one down for the first out. Excellent play there by Jake.
He had it all the way. It didn't seem that when it was off the bat, but he casually galloped over there and was there waiting for it when it came down.
Yeah, thought it was a little bit of a gapper, but it was hit high up in the air, and so Jake did a good job tracking that down. Jason Dewey, who came in after the injury as a pitcher, takes his first at-bat of the game. Runner's off. Good throw down there by Jake Gray, but not in time as Reed Robinson steals second base.
Malachi Perez with a beautiful sweep tag, just not in time. So 1-0 now.
(1-1) to Jason Dewey.
Couldn't catch up to that fastball.
Another high fastball. He swings over that. 1-2. Nice job blocking the plate there by Jake Gray, dropping his knee down and keeping that one from skipping away from him, getting that runner to third base. Dewey awaits the 2-2. Hits it hard to third base, goes right through the 5-hole. See if they're going to send the runner. They are sending the runner. And third baseman tips the ball, so Robinson scores on the error. Jason Dewey's at first base.
Right through the wicket, as they say. Ball was hit very hard, but third baseman Hezekiah Rodriguez would let you know that he usually makes that play.
Again, we talked about it in the first game, that spongy, turf they have, the grass, and that was a skipper.
A whole new experience for what the ball does on turf than what it does on dirt. Absolutely.
And then when it hits the dirt, it definitely changes it up. So, not going to ding him too bad. I'm sure he's second guessing himself enough. So, this is Daniel Coyle the third baseman today. He's behind 0-1. Runner takes off to second base. Ball skips in the dirt. He gets second base easily, does Dewey. 1-1 count to Coyle. Another native of Illinois.
Nancy Soto must be off work all of a sudden. Says hello. The lovely wife of Javier Nunez.
The boss behind the boss.
The boss behind the boss is exactly right. They are one cute couple, I'll tell you that.
Goes down to get one and pops it up with C. Hezekiah Rodriguez settles underneath it for the second out. Got to have a short memory in this game, Mikey.
Absolutely do. It's a humbling sport to begin with, but if you let something bother you early, it can get really tough on you later in a game. You got to put it behind you. You can't get the next out if you're still thinking about the last out.
And as you pointed out in the top half of this inning, first baseman Brett Beyondich made some really nice digs on some plays. He takes his first cut of the game, sends the first pitch skied to first base, and Samuel brings that in. That'll be 3 outs, but the Elite do get one back here in the bottom half of the first inning. We'll come back with the second. Stream Live Tampa from Tropicana Field after this.
Stream Live Tampa back here at Tropicana Field for the Pro Series Power Showcase.
We got us another pitching change here to start off the second inning after Dewey came in after the injury. He was just there to get those final 2 outs. And the Elite will turn it over to Ethan Bass, right-hander. He'll face off against Braxton Spoon. Spoon quickly behind 0-2. Made a weak attempt, but didn't swing the bat there and gets called out looking. Strike 3. That'll bring up the pitcher Braxton Bullock here.
Always tough. You get that yes, yes, no, no, and then yes, way too late on a swing like that.
Yeah, that was a breaking pitch that, I mean, it died really late. So I think he thought it was going to be high on him. Not exactly a tall player, so I think he thought it was going to be out of the zone, but it broke right in. Good call there by home plate umpire Will Gallant. Bullock ahead 2-0 here. Hits it hard to shortstop. Ben Kuglich makes the throw over.
On throw.
Second out. Yeah, he had time and a half to throw that one. It looked like he really threw a dart over there. That'll turn the lineup over. Nick Smith, who led the game off with a single, takes his second at bat of the game. Swings at the first pitch, 0-1.
Bass coming in like a house on fire, throwing strikes.
Throwing strikes and working quickly, not dilly-dallying out there on the mound. They were warming him up in a hurry after the injury to starting pitcher Addison Latko, but Dewey did a good job getting them out of the inning with minimal damage. 2-1's the count to Nicholas Smith, 13-year-old Texas native. Check swing, strike two.
2-2 with 2 outs now.
Ooh. That was a nasty pitch to strike out Smith. 1-2-3 inning for Bass there. 4-1 lead for the Rip City Raiders over the Wisconsin Elite. Elite get their chance to bat here in the bottom of the second. We'll be back after a few. And we're back, folks. Patty Roth will lead things off for the Wisconsin Elite here in the bottom of the second. The Elite trail Rip City Raiders 4-1. Roth looks at a pitch up. Roth, a corner outfielder and third baseman, playing right field today.
For our viewers at home, I just went over and talked with one of the coaches from the Elite. Latko will continue to hit. He just will not be back out on the mound. So that's good news. He'll still be able to hit.
Very good news. Happy to hear that. Hard hit ball to shortstop. Nicholas Smith makes the throw across for the first out. That'll bring up Luke Manderson, not to be confused with teammate Luke Anderson.
My first game of the day on Sunday. One of the parents let me know. Good luck, you got Luke Anderson and Luke Manderson. And we've only mixed them up once.
Yes, we did. We did think that one was pitching when the other one was pitching earlier, but we figured it out. We corrected ourselves, but we appreciate if you hear anything and you want to give us a heads up, please do so. Hezekiah Rodriguez throws it across. Oh, a little short on the throw. Luke Manderson's going to reach there. Likely going to rule that an error. Manderson was motoring down the line, but a good throw would have got him. This will bring up Addison Latko, who again we mentioned started the game on the mound, but felt some kind of discomfort and was removed from his start, but is staying in to hit and hopefully run, so that's a positive thing. We don't ever want to see anyone get injured, but especially not in an event where we should be having fun. Last games before the kids head back to school, I would imagine. So,
absolutely, and the Elite will have more games tomorrow, so you know he wants to be a part of that.
2-1 count here to Latko. That one's away.
Two and one
now. Correction. 2-1. Three and one now. That ball skips in front of the plate and will allow Manderson to get to second base. So Latko with a chance to drive in a run. Runner in scoring position.
If you weren't able to see the game earlier today, the Elite found themselves behind late in the game and rallied to win it. So they have that capability.
3-2. As that one bends in for a strike.
Saw Coach Kelly on the way out. He said, and now we just got to get him to calm down a little bit and rest before this second game.
Swings over that one for a strikeout. A modest fist pump there from Braxton Bullock. I think he really wanted to get that one after letting that runner get to second base and get into scoring position. The current pitcher, Ethan Bass, will step to the plate here. Bass came on the start of this inning and top of the second as a pitcher. Ball away, 2-0. That one's up, 3-0. Ethan Bass had a walk in the first game of the day and draws a second walk of the day. This time his first at bat of this game. Puts runners on first and second here with 2 outs. That'll draw a visit from the pitching coach out to talk to Bullock. Well, this is a very good sign, folks. If we were worried about the injury, courtesy running for the pitcher is the last out, which is Latko. So that's a good sign showing that maybe it was just a cramp or something, you know, that was easily manageable, and maybe he can pitch in the game tomorrow, perhaps. So Latko replaces Bass as the courtesy runner for the pitcher. Luke Manderson's at second base. And Max Heineman steps in there, looks at ball one. Heineman played catcher in the early morning game.
So in the bigs, usually they have a different catcher in a day game after a night game. In a tournament, you have a different catcher in a day game after a morning game. Got to keep those catchers' legs fresh. So 2 outs, but 3-0 with runners at first and second. And here's a 3-0 from Braxton. 3-0 swinging.
Swings. That fills it up at 3-2. Runners will be on the move here. Little. Oh,
Gets the call.
umpire calls it a strike on the outside, so that will retire the side with 2 runners left aboard. And we will be back for the 3rd inning. Stream Live Tampa. And we're back here for the 3rd inning of the Pro Series Power Showcase 13 and Under World Championships. I'm Jarrett Guthrie. I'm alongside Mikey Perez for Stream Live Tampa. We hope you're enjoying your afternoon wherever you are and watching us on YouTube or Facebook. Ooh, Hezekiah Rodriguez in for Rip City. Fouls one off his leg. That one smarts. He's in a little bit of pain here. Both coaches coming out to check out, both his coach and the elite coach. Looks like he fouled it off the inside of his knee. Trainer coming to look at him. Hopefully he'll be okay. He's got that ankle guard on, but that one caught him a little high. Looks like where he's pointing is below the knee, so that hopefully that's a positive. Just stings right now. Hopefully he'll be able to shake it off. Trainer's checking his strength, making him apply. Get a little pressure on underneath the knee and lift it up. Yeah.
See if he
Kinda
can shake
smart.
it.
Yeah, hopefully it won't tighten up on him.
Well, we have a minute of wonderful scene last night at the hotel in the lobby. They've got pool tables and video games and stuff, and a lot of the kids from each team getting to know each other a little bit off the field. It's another great reason to come to a showcase and meet people from different states and different walks of life that all have the same thing in common, as the love of baseball. It was fun to watch the kids play and pool together last night.
Absolutely. That's a great experience. Rodriguez appears to be shaking it off. Still a little sore, but he's going to get back in there. He walked and scored in his first at-bat in the game in the 1st inning. See if he can start his team off here in the 3rd. Something productive. He hits that ball hard. It's just foul, though.
I was just about to say what would make that feel a heck of a lot better is a nice stand-up double, and he almost came through with it.
Gentlemen, stay inside the dugout, please. In the dugout, please.
The 0-2.
Hits that high to center field.
Cardelis.
Settles underneath, makes the catch. 1 away.
So after a loud strike, Rodriguez flies out to center.
Now hopefully he does some stretching there in the dugout,
Gotta
doesn't let it get tightened up on him.
Keep it moving, sir. Keep it moving.
Needs to be at third base for his team the rest of the game. That'll bring up Luis Castillo, who walked and scored a run in his first plate appearance. As we mentioned earlier, had a big double in the game previous to this one. Looks at another pitch away, 2-0. Just catches the corner, 2-1. Some rumblings outside of thunder, but that doesn't affect us here in the Trop. Ball 3, 3-1 is the count to Castillo.
Jared, I don't know if you've seen it because there have been more than a few times at Tropicana Field where the lights have
Lights will
dimmed
go
here
out.
and there.
Yeah.
And the great Twitter follow is the 16th Street substation. He acts like he is the substation and talks about why he made the lights go out and when he'll turn them back on Twitter. It's pretty comical.
I had a running joke with a few reporter friends back in my newspaper day that I would chronically be at soccer games in the coldest part of the Florida winter, which for you people out of state is somewhere in the 50s or 40s. But those transformers would freeze up and lights would go off, and people would always blame me for doing it because it seemed to happen
whenever you showed up.
Inordinately amount of times when I was there, yeah. This is Reggie Samuel had the huge 2-run single to get his team on the board in the first inning. Let's see if Reggie can come through again for his team. Playing first base in this game. Castillo with a small lead off of first. That ball's okay. That ball called a strike. We were getting a lot of inside calls in the first 2 games and no outside calls, and now it seems the outside of the black is a little more in play. So we'll see how pitchers adjust to that.
Every game you play, with a different guy in the bucket, you got to learn the umpire strike zone. And as long as he calls it both ways,
And
then
calls
you're
it
all right.
consistently. I agree.
Absolutely.
2-2 here to Reggie Samuel.
It encourages him to swing that bat.
Reggie swings over that one. Strike 3. 2 away here for Mr. Bass. Ethan Bass, the pitcher for the Wisconsin Elite. That'll bring up Malachi Perez, the second baseman. Malachi reached on a bunt single. In the earlier game, he also had an infield single, was 1 for 3. Swings at that one, sends it straight back into the netting behind home plate.
Rip City trying to add to their lead.
Hit hard into right field. Patty Roth comes in and makes the catch for the third out. 1 runner left aboard off of a walk. No runs across. Rip City leads this one 4-1 over the Wisconsin Elite. We'll be back for the home half of the third inning after this. home half of the third inning coming up here. Ben Kuglich will step into the box here for the Wisconsin Elite. Braxton Bullock returns to the mound for Rip City. His first pitch is hit hard into center field. That ball finds the grass. No one covering second base. Ben Kuglich with a double in the book.
Absolutely is. Right in the Bermuda Triangle between the shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder. And worried about the big bounce over his head. The center fielder checked up, and the outfielders turned to look at the center fielder, and it fell right in between for a double.
Yeah, and both the shortstop and second baseman were out there, and although Bullock made the charge to second base,
not in time.
Gets in there easily. Yeah, this will bring up Bobby Idell. Idell looks at ball one. Sends one just over my head into the netting. 1-1 count.
Had one nice and early yesterday, Jarrett, that came straight back into the net. And as much as you tell yourself that you know the net's there, I was diving to my left.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people give people the business for that. I'm always going to err on the side of
you never know.
Protect the moneymaker, Mike. You
That's
and I,
right.
we got these good looks.
We got these faces for radio.
Going.
We got to keep them that way.
Absolutely. That one's in the dirt. So Idell here, way ahead, 3-1. He'll pick himself one out if it's a good one. And it's in the dirt, and he walks. So 2 aboard here to start the bottom of the third inning. That'll bring in center fielder Jake Cardelis. Jake, 14-year-old, playing center field today, also plays middle infield. 5'7", 130 pounds. Cardelis swings at that one, sends it foul into the seats behind the third base dugout. 0-1. Cardelis hitting 13th for the team as they are batting 4 extra hitters in this game. That ball bounces well in front of the plate, and both runners easily advance. So 2 in scoring position now for Cardelis.
No chance for Jake Gray on that one.
No, that ball bounced well in front of the plate and out in the far box. So he didn't have much of a chance at that one. You're right.
So here's the Elite, though, second and third with nobody out.
That's going to be a foul ball. Let's see if the third baseman, Rodriguez, can get over to it, and he does. He hauls it in for a big out right there.
Absolutely.
That'll bring the lineup back up to the leadoff hitter, Reed Robinson. Robinson walked and scored in the first inning. He'll take his cuts with 2 men in scoring position. Switch hitter Robinson. 5'8", 155 pounds from Indiana. He goes down and gets one. Foul territory, no damage done. First base coach telling him to take advantage of that big gap in left center. That ball's up, 1-1. Put a charge into that one.
Should be deep enough, and it is.
Runner tags up. He easily advances. Both runners advance a base. Kulich scores on the RBI sac fly from Robinson. Bobby Idell advances on to third base. So sac fly RBI for Robinson. And the game is 4-2 now. The Elite has cut the lead in half. Luke Anderson, extra hitter today's game, flew out to right field in his first at-bat.
Let's see if lefty Luke can get this other run in to make it 4-3.
Five 5'10", 140 pounds, Luke Anderson. Ball inside, 2-0. That's a line drive. That should fall. That'll drive in the run. It bounces over the center fielder's head. Going for extra bases. He'll make the turn at second. He'll head towards third base. Third base coach is wheeling him around. He's coming in hard. Here comes the throw. And he slides in safe. Inside the park home run. Center fielder thought he was going to get a friendlier hop than he did. Bounced right over his head. Brings in the run and scores himself. There was no hesitation from third base coach there. He was pumping the wheel and
regardless of how that relay looked, he was going to send that runner, I believe, with 2 outs.
Spinning that wheel when he was halfway to first base.
Early enough, Coach Sean Kelly was being aggressive there, regardless, and it pays off. And well, we got a tie ball game.
Brand new ball game, Mikey. Absolutely. Certainly, momentum seems to be on the side of the Elite after that. Jason Dewey takes his second plate appearance of the day. He reached on an error and stole a base in the first. Puts a charge into that one. Sends it out to center field. This might die as well. No. Yes, it did.
Sliding attempt there by the center fielder.
Alex Welk.
Alex Welk.
But that's going to be ruled a single.
You know, after that previous bounce, he's a little gun shy. He got to that one, made a nice sliding attempt, and it just eluded his glove.
Yeah, but did knock it down and keep it from rolling away. So runner just gets to first, but he's quickly off to second, and he'll steal that bag easily. So Dewey with his second stolen base of the day.
Jake Gray with a strong throw, but just no chance with that jump.
Yeah. They're jumping very well off these pitchers' first move in the last 2 games we've watched. Daniel Coyle swings at one, sends it foul over into the seats behind the first base dugout. Coyle flew out to third baseman Hezekiah Rodriguez. Mixed up my biblical names.
No worries, no worries. 2 balls and a strike now as Braxton Bullock to try to finish this game.
Coyle swings at that one, sends it into center field. Welk tracking back and has it skip off his glove. That'll bring in another run, and that'll give the Elite a 5-4 lead on the error.
As we were just speaking about, previous plays can take a toll on you if you can't put them behind you. And that's something that young man will learn as he continues to play this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brett Beyondich. Oh, and they're going to make a change.
Always a stinger. There's a change defensively.
Yeah, gives you more time to think about it than you probably want.
Absolutely.
That's going to be Hunter Dodson taking over there in center field for Rip City. Brett Beyondich, the first baseman, steps into the plate with runner on first base. Ball in the dirt, 1-0.
With all the great baseball that we've been seeing the last couple of days, you forget that these are 13-year-old kids.
Absolutely.
And they've got a lot of growing to do and a lot of improving to do. And they can turn things around in a heartbeat.
Third game in 24 hours for Rip City here. Or for both teams, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. 1-1, it's the count. Here on Brett Beyondich. Bullock's struggling a little bit, bouncing a few too many, I think, but doesn't seem like Daniel Coyle's in too big a hurry to move on to second base. Nice job behind the plate by Gray here, Jake Gray, keeping most of those balls in front of him. Foul ball, 2-2. Brett Beyondich, 5'11", 150 pounds, excuse me. That ball is up. A little bit of a slip there for Bullock on the mound. Hope he's okay.
You know, Braxton Bullock definitely wants to just get this third out.
He wants to get out of this inning, and get his
do it
team back
himself.
in the dugout. Runner takes off. Ball 4. Beyondich will reach first base. Coyle on to second. That'll draw out the coach. Probably going to see a pitching change here.
While we make that pitch and change, this is Mikey Perez for Stream Live Tampa in the Power Showcase Pro Series from Tropicana Field. We'll be right back.
All right, and we're back. That was a relatively easy one on us, I think. When Hezekiah Rodriguez comes over from third base and Braxton Bullock moves over to third base for us. So as far as changes go, that one's relatively easy for us.
That has not been the case most of the last 2 days, I promise you that. It's been a relative changing of the guard and Chinese fire drill out of the car and everyone changing position. So thank you very much for the coach of Rip City for position for position.
Taking it easy on us.
Absolutely.
Patty Roth in here for his second at-bat of the game. He swings That's strike 3, and that'll do it. Leave 2 runners aboard, but they do pick up 4 runs here, and the Wisconsin Elite now hold a 5-4 lead on Rip City. We're Stream Live Tampa, Jarrett Guthrie and Mikey Paris. We'll be back in a few, all right?
Back at it here, Tropicana Field, going to the top of the 4th, and I'll turn the play-by-play over to Mr. Jarrett Guthrie.
Jake Gray walked in a run in his first at-bat in the first inning, steps in here in the 4th. Gray swings at the second pitch he sees, sends it to shortstop. Throw over for the out. Nice throw there by Ben Kuglich. Over to Brett Beyondich for the out. 1 away. That'll bring up Jake Brown, the right fielder. Brown struck out looking in his first at-bat.
See how Rip City responds to the first time being behind today in this game.
Little excuse me swing to third base. Good dig out by Brett Beyondich. He's made a number of those plays today. Daniel Coyle with a good throw, but skips right at the starting point of the dirt.
He looks so calm in doing so, too.
Really
he looks like he's built to play first base.
Any of you college coaches are out there, maybe want to jump on an early 13-year-old.
Take a peek.
2026,
I think.
2026. They didn't bring me here for my math, folks.
That's pretty close. We'll say 26, 27.
Ethan Bass on for his 3rd inning of work. Got a quick 2 outs, and that'll bring up Hunter Dodson. Dodson, who came in this. Have some technology down off that foul ball that hit the netting right in front of the scorer's table. Hunter Dodson came into center field in the middle of last inning.
That is actually the mile per hour.
The mile per hour sign?
Yeah,
okay.
The pitch of the speed that was showing the fans over exactly how fast the ball's been thrown got knocked for a loop.
Dodson in there battling. 1-2. That ball's going to drift foul. Dodson's going to get another opportunity here.
So it came into play center field in the middle of the last inning.
After Rip City scored those 4 runs in the first inning, it's been nice to see a steadying hand here from Ethan Bass come in. Right now he's faced just one over the minimum through 2 2/3 innings, issuing just 1 walk. 2-2. Ball in the dirt, fills it up. 3-2.
Took one up off the collarbone there, it looks like.
Yeah, Reed Robinson got one in one of the few places where there's not padding, especially on a ball that bounces up and your chin's kind of turned to the right, gloves down. It'll get you sometimes.
They'll find it.
Close pitch, but that is another walk. His second walk issued of the game. Gives them a 2-out base runner for Rip City. That'll bring up Pete Stefanos, trying to add the S and the F to the first name. That's not right. Pete Stefanos steps to the plate. Strike 1. Very similar pitch to the last pitch that was called a ball, but
absolutely.
Batter's on the different side. Maybe the umpire liked it a little bit more. Foul back, 0-2. Yeah, they're gonna look at Reed Robinson. Might be having a little, sometimes you'll hit those spots and it'll make the arm numb a little bit. Yep. Peter Stefanos, 5'3", 109 pounds, from Georgia. Ball inside, 1-2. Pete plays outfield and first base. That ball's outside, 2-2. Dodson's keeping it pretty close over at first base. Wants to give his teammate a chance to drive him around and not run into an out. Stepping out a little bit more now this time. 2-2 count. Right at him. Excellent play there by Ben Kutlich at shortstop for the 3rd out. So 1 runner gets on via the walk, but doesn't leave first base. So we are heading to the bottom of the 4th with the Wisconsin Elite leading Rip City Raiders 5-4. We are Stream Live Tampa, coming to you from the Pro Series Power Showcase 13U World Series from Tropicana Field. We'll be back. All right, folks, we're back. Coming to the plate for the Elite is Luke Manderson. Luke reached on an error in his first at-bat today. Swings at that first pitch, sends it foul. Hezekiah Rodriguez, who came on in relief last inning, will continue on the mound for Rip City. That ball is outside, 1-1. I'm kind of digging the all-white Stormtrooper gear here on Jake Gregg.
He wore that yesterday, and I said something similar to the same thing.
Leaves that one a little bit short, 2-1.
Makes you look tough, like you're not even wearing shin guards.
I like it. Yeah, there was a player from Newsom who this year, Kelson Johnson, he went with the all-white gear. I like seeing that. Ball fouled straight back into the netting, 2-2. Luke Manderson, 5'9" right-hander, 160 pounds from Illinois.
Danny Elise popping on Facebook. Wanting to get that Rip City team going from the dugout. Wanting to pull this one out. And Linda Dropsky from Wisconsin. Rooting on the Elite. Just missed up, I guess.
Full count. Another one high, and he sends that one over the third baseman into left field. Manderson with a single. Really, a parent just screamed, good at bat, and he is not wrong. That was an
exactly
excellent
right.
piece of hitting. 3-2. He left that last one. You didn't swing at that last one that could have been called a strike, so another one that was a little up in the zone and did exactly what you needed to do, send it right over the third baseman's head. Addison Latko comes on. He struck out in his first at-bat.
Always makes you feel great when you have a tough take and then you get a base hit right on the next pitch. Gives you a lot of confidence.
That ball's outside, 2-0. Three and 0. This one will need to be perfect. He fakes the bunt, pulls it back, and takes his walk. So 2 aboard here as Latko reaches on a base on balls. Manderson to second base. That'll bring up the pitcher, Ethan Bass. Oh, no. Yeah. Sorry. It is Ethan Bass. Okay. I thought I just saw 4. I didn't see the second 4 for a second.
Sporting the Hank Aaron 44.
Misses there, 1-1.
Very good break on that ball, but he just started it too far outside. Gonna mix up the signals here with the runner on second base.
Jake Gray's going to go out and talk it over with him. Quick discussion.
Here's the 1-1.
That one's up the middle. Nick Smith steps on second, gets 1 out. Runner will advance to third base. Maybe had a little bit of trouble getting it out of his glove.
I believe it rolled up his arm there a little bit, and then he secured it in his belly and stepped on second to get the out. If he fields it clean, he had a chance for that double play, but you can never expect a double play. You just love them when they come, so it'll just be a fielder's choice.
Max Heineman, second baseman. Runner takes off for second base. There won't even throw down. Stolen base for Bass. Heineman struck out looking in his first plate appearance of the game. That ball's outside, 2-0. Big chance for Max to break this one open here. That ball's in the dirt. Good stop there by Jake Gray.
They'll go ahead and put on Heineman to get the force play at any bag. Try to turn the double play.
Interesting decision here with Kulich, who bounced that double over the center fielder in his last at bat. So Kulich steps in here. Oh, hard hit ball right off the glove of the third baseman. That'll bring in a run. Hot shot there.
Ball was smoked right to third. Jumping attempt hit off the tip of the glove. So here's Idell now.
Hit to shortstop. Nicholas Smith throws across, gets the out at first. Will drive in a run though, so Idell does the job. Coach yells out a good team at bat. He's dead on with that call. Runners on second and third with 2 outs here. Idell does the job, makes it 7-4. Wisconsin Elite. Jake Cardelis steps into the plate. He sends one into right field. The first baseman, Samuel, gets in underneath it and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So, the Wisconsin Elite pick up two runs on 3 hits in that inning. Lead Rip City Raiders 7-4 as we head to the 5th inning. We are Stream Live Tampa. We'll be back to you from Tropicana Field just after this. Braxton Spone steps in for the Rip City Raiders here to lead off the 5th inning. Just had a visit from first base umpire Josue Torres.
Josue's
a good guy. Hits a shortstop.
First baseman gets the foot back down after having to jump up off of there, but he gets it down. Another play by Beyondich.
Yeah, it's right now, if the I don't know what their plan is. I know they love offense in this Power Showcase. It is called the Power Showcase. But if I'm picking a game MVP right now, I don't know that Beyondich isn't my pick.
Saved at least 2 runs by making picks over there.
You know, it's called the Power Showcase, but if I was going to pick my two leading candidates right now would be the pitcher, Bass, and the first baseman defensively, Beyondich.
Absolutely.
1-1 is the count here to Braxton Bullock. Appreciate Rip City back to backing the Braxtons for us. Spone and Bullock. That ball's a chopper, going to land just foul.
That really took a big hop. So that'll make it 1-2.
Bullock ground out to the shortstop in his first plate appearance on the day. That ball is outside, 2-2. Bullock started the day on the mound, moved over to third base, traded spots with Hezekiah Rodriguez. Swings over that one for the strikeout. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, shortstop Nick Smith. Smith started the game with a single and scored the game's first run. He's 1 for 2 on the day. That ball hits the dirt outside the batter's box. 1-0, 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Swings over that one, evens the count at 1. Two and one.
Ball drilled down the line.
That is gone.
There it is.
5'5", 130 pounds, and he put every stitch of that into that. Hits that into the 162 deck, where Evan Longoria sent the home run to send the Rays to their first ever playoffs. Slowing down.
162 landing, absolutely.
Got to get a good camera shot, get the whole team in to congratulate Nicholas Smith with the solo home run.
Drilled right into the 162 landing. That's fantastic. Not too many balls sneak in there. The big Evan Longoria one, of course, and now Nick Smith.
That'll be a memory Nick Smith will always remember, I bet.
Absolutely.
A big home run. The first hit allowed by Mr. Bass. 3 2/3 innings, had only allowed 2 walks up until that point, so 1 hit, 1 run on the board. Coach is going to come out and talk to the team.
Gets them back to within 2 runs, 7-5 now. Exciting stuff for Rip City right there. That's a home run in a big league ballpark.
And I like how he listened to the direction of the tournament directors to have the cameraman ready, waited for his team to get in the circle so he could get the full dose of their excitement and cheering. That was fun.
Absolutely.
That was fun. There's been a lot of, good camaraderie and good fun in this tournament. I've really enjoyed that part of it. That ball's just outside. 1-0. Hezekiah Rodriguez, the current pitcher for Rip City, to the plate. Rodriguez sends that one to the gap. That'll go for extra bases.
Go shopping at the gap.
A little bit of a stutter step around first base. He's going to try for third. He's going to get there easily. A stand-up triple. So home run triple back-to-back. Rodriguez stands at third base.
I've seen it continue to happen for this Rip City team. They started a little slow, even though they scored 4 in the first year. They were behind, and then later in the game, they just start crushing the baseball.
You said yesterday they just found a way to string hits together, and That'll work 9 times out of 10. That'll get you where you want to
At
be.
any level, you don't see too many teams putting 5 or 6 hits together in a row as they did yesterday, even when they were way behind. So they have the bats to definitely get back in this game.
Luis Castillo steps in. He's walked twice in this game. And he's ahead 2-0 right now. Sending pitchers to warm up for the elite down into the bullpen. That pitch is outside as well, 3-0. Reed Robinson's going to go out and talk to his pitcher, Ethan Bass.
I don't blame Bass here to be a little shell-shocked
shook
all of a
up.
sudden.
Yep.
2 thunderous hits after he had smooth sailing pretty much. So just need to take a breath. Knows he just needs to get that one last out. But Castillo may have something to say about it. I love it, 3-0 swinging.
Green lit him, huh? Okay. So 3-0 swing. Castillo has walked twice, scored once in the first inning.
Having fun in the tournament. Get your hacks in.
Sure. That ball. Whoa. Late call by the umpire there. Strike 2. Full count. Don't see that often where the catcher can't get a handle on it, but the umpire calls it. But
It does happen from time to time, even in the bigs. But usually it's a cross-up.
well, that was glove side. Defends himself there. Swings the ball a little bit out, but good protection swing. Keeps him alive. Full count.
Did not freak out on that one. I would have made the play.
Okay.
Or I would not have got hit in the face. I'll
Good.
tell you that.
Good. So you would have deflected it into my face.
At the very least.
All right, that one's well outside. So 3rd walk of the game for Castillo, and that'll turn it over for Reggie Samuel, who had the big 2-run single in the first inning. Runners on the corners for the Rip City Raiders.
This will be Samuel.
Reggie fouls that one back into the screen.
He was ready to hit right there.
He was. Wants to add to his RBI total for the day and get his team, get this back to a new ball game.
Hitting is contagious. You see your other teammates doing it, you want to jump right in.
Ooh,
Good pitch.
Breaking ball. 0-2. That ball gets away from Robinson. Neither runner advances.
Castillo's got that ankle from when he made that diving
Diving
play
play
or
earlier.
sliding play earlier. So he's a little gimpy, so he wasn't going to chance it.
That ball just outside. 2-2.
Samuel took a peek back just to make sure that the umpire saw what he saw.
Yeah, Will Gallant's called that pitch a couple times today.
2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on.
Swings over that one. That was a big peaching sequence there for Ethan Bass. Good job there. But Rip City claws one back there with a home run into the 162 deck by Nick Smith. That cuts the Wisconsin Elite lead to 7-5 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. For Stream Live Tampa, we will be back after this.
Mikey Perez back at Tropicana Field as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Wisconsin Elite now only with a 2-run lead, 7-5. You know they'll be looking for a couple of tack-on runs here as the first pitch of the inning comes right in. Misses inside.
Catcher Reed Robinson steps in, top of the lineup here for the Wisconsin Elite. Reed walked and had an RBI sac fly. Sends that one a screamer down the line, but it's going to land foul. And then skip like a stone on a lake up into the seats.
Absolutely.
Robinson walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the first. Had an RBI sac fly to right field in the 3rd inning. 2-1 count to Robinson. Hezekiah Rodriguez again on the mound for the Rip City Raiders. He swings at that one, 2-2. That one misses, 3-2. Ooh. Bounces up and catches the umpire a little bit, but looks like he's okay. Robinson will trot down to first base after drawing the walk. That'll bring up Luke Anderson, who had the game's first home run, a ball that bounced over the center fielder's head and went all the way to the fence and allowed him to motor around. He looks at ball 1. It's a tough one there for the catcher. Tries to backhand it, but has no chance at that. The wild pitch will allow Robinson to go to second base. Anderson will await the 2-0 count now.
Rip City could really use a shutdown inning here. As we're ticking towards 5 o'clock.
Anderson sends that to Smith at shortstop. Smith throws across to Samuel for the out, but the runner does advance to third base. So a productive out from Luke Anderson there. That'll bring Jason Dewey to the plate. Dewey's reached twice, once on a single, once on an error, and stolen 2 bases. Scored 1 run. He'll try to extend his team's lead here. Dewey, a 5'9", 155-pound player from Illinois. Came in that tough spot and pitched in the first inning after the injury or the cramp or whatever it was to Latko, but has returned to his extra hitter, designated hitter role since then. 1-1 count to Dewey. That ball is skied, should stay in the infield. Second baseman makes that play. Malachi Perez.
Let everyone know it that he was making that play.
He did. He's got it for sure. He yelled it out with authority. Daniel, even the announcer here got in on the 2 chains. Daniel 2 chains Coyle up. He sends one high and hard towards left field, but well foul.
2 chains. I heard that yesterday and I absolutely loved it. I'll get down to the bottom of that for tomorrow's game. Sometimes you have a nickname and it's the exact opposite of what anyone
it really
may think.
means, yeah?
Absolutely.
So you don't think he's wearing 2 necklaces right now?
That could be 2, but might have another meaning too. We'll find out.
What's your favorite sports nickname of all time?
Give me a second to think on that one, because there's so many. Go back to Dizzy Dean.
That's a good one. Lined right at Nick Smith. He barely has to move for the third out. Runner stranded there at third base. A good inning there for Hezekiah Rodriguez. So he'll be happy sending his team back
Exactly what
to
Rip
the
City
dugout.
needed.
22 minutes left to play still. So hopefully Rip City can claw their way back in and make this a tighter game. We are Stream Live Tampa. We'll be back for the 6th inning right after this. Welcome back, folks. We head to the 6th inning. Jarrett Guthrie and Mikey Perez here for Stream Live Tampa. Mikey, the Elite bring back Ethan Bass for another inning after he got that strikeout to end that inning after a little bit of a rough patch there. Are you glad to see him back out here? I know it's game 3 in 2 days, so pitching's probably at a premium, but are you glad to see this young man back out?
Absolutely. I think you're thinking about tomorrow as well, trying to save the arms that you have left for what could be the championship game for the Elite. And even though there were a couple loud, well-struck balls by Rip City, besides the top of the order there, he's been able to get through the lineup without too much damage. So I'm sure a one-pitch, one-out doesn't hurt right there to start the inning.
Malachi Perez drives the ball straight to Brett Beyondich, who we've commented on multiple times. This game has played an outstanding defensive game for the Elite. That'll bring up Jake Gray, the catcher for Rip City. Now, I asked you before the break, what's your favorite nickname? You've had some time to think about it.
I was thinking a little bit. I mean, there's always the Wizard of Oz. He's just the best at shortstop. But I go back to Hack Wilson. That's a guy that just absolutely hit it.
I'm not limiting you to just baseball.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I'm ruined by Chris Berman. I use all the nicknames that aren't actually nicknames. I'm trying to run through things. There's a fly ball lifted to right field for the second out of the inning.
Patty Roth makes that catch for Gray.
So go ahead and tell me a few of your favorites.
Gosh, man, I don't know. I mean, if I was going to go all time, like favorite any sport, it's going to be former Florida State Seminole great Marvin Shade Tree Jones.
Shade Tree Jones.
Why? Because he likes to nap under shade trees, which is my favorite explanation to a nickname ever.
That's fantastic.
You know, certain ones were great and then made better by ESPN. The Albert Pujols, the Machine, that's one of the all-time great ESPN commercials. Where
it's great that he's still going.
I love it, and gets traded Still hitting home runs. Hit what, 569 or something the other day?
He's up there.
Guy's a monster. He is a machine for sure.
Back in his prime, that might have been one of the tougher outs to ever play the game.
And if you bring up a Chris Berman one, I'm always going to go with Bert.
Be home, Bly 11.
11.
I love that one. That's one of my favorites I go to all the time as well. Or what was Deshaies' first name for the Astros? He called them because his last name was Deshaies. Two silhouettes on Deshaies.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. I don't remember the first name. Right?
That'd have been Jim. He's a left-handed pitcher, but two silhouettes on Deshaies.
Jake Brown in here for Rip City. Swings under one. Quick 1-2-3 inning for both pitchers there.
Bass answers the call with a 1-2-3 inning. So we'll head into the bottom of the sixth, 7-5 ball game. It looks like that the Rip City will get another at bat if they can have a nice quick inning here. They're going to need to get out there and get these 3 outs. We'll be right back with the bottom of the sixth inning, 7-5. Wisconsin Elite leads.
Defensive wizard Brett Beyondich steps to the plate here. The music's still going overhead.
There we go.
Ray's broadcast team. You're right. 2-hour time limits in this game. Rip City's got to hope for 3 quick outs. 2-0 count to Beyondich. If I'm the elite coach, I might be playing a little strategy here. Hey, man, maybe take until you get a strike.
The human rain delay to the plate.
Yeah, the Joe Mauer take until you get a strike kind of philosophy. 3-0 to Beyondich. 4 straight balls, and their first runner is on for the elite here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That is the second walk drawn by Beyondich today. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Has not left first base so far. Let's see if Patty Roth, the right fielder, can push him around the bases. Roth is 0 for 2 in the game. Has made a couple nice catches out in right field. That ball gets away from him, comes in. That'll allow Beyondich to take second base. So just like that, he's reached new frontiers for himself, Beyondich.
Plays first base, just likes to hang out over there, I
Probably
think.
was getting bored hanging out at first base, yeah. So Patty Roth up 2-0 on Hezekiah Rodriguez.
It's like me coming over to St. Pete for dinner. Get out of Tampa. Go see something different.
Something new, a new flavor palette across the bay. 2-1 to Patty Roth. 6'1", 165 pounds from Illinois. He swings at the ball low, and it gets through. Oh, and the ball skips away from the outfielder. He'll get in. Whew. Nothing about that was pretty for Brett Beyondich, but you know what? All that matters is that he scored, right?
It counts on the board. Whether you slide, roll, or step on it, it counts. That'll make it 8-6.
Now maybe somebody will
Or
chime
8-5, I'm sorry.
Chime in on Facebook for me. I was wondering if maybe he missed third base.
Ah.
But I don't know. Don't know if we had the angle on that. Ball hit hard but foul there. by Luke Manderson. So I'm tempted to give Roth the RBI there because the third base coach was spinning his arm.
He was going to send him.
Even before the ball skipped away from the left fielder. So let's give him an RBI just for fun. Luke Manderson reached twice today, once on a single in the fourth and scored a run. That ball's skied and behind us. I'm going to cover my head with my hand like that's going to do anything in protection. But it deterred the ball from hitting me, so I'm fine with it. Luke Manderson looks at strike three. It was a beautiful pitch there from Rodriguez. So one away here in the bottom of the sixth inning. That'll bring up Addison Latko. Latko 0 for 1, reached on a walk in the fourth inning. Hits that one hard, just foul down the third base line.
Both teams have really stung some foul balls today, and along with some very well struck balls that were base hits. Nice bender there.
Yeah, he's got that pitch working really well. I think he might be leaving it up a little higher than he wants right now, and maybe somebody will make him pay for it, but so far they haven't. That one was well up, so 1-2.
Another base hit.
Addison Latko puts one into right field and will move the runners up a station, so runners on first and second. That'll bring up the pitcher, Ethan Bass.
Good for Latko for after having to leave the game early with some type of small injury where he had to leave the pitching mound, gets to stay in to hit, and now gets a base hit. Ethan Bass now.
Strike one. Strike two. That's that curveball again.
There it is. He starts
Working
it in the right spot.
really
It breaks well.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting
Gets just a piece of it.
Protecting as he should
Mm-hmm.
on the outside corner.
That one's just outside 1-2. Good purpose pitch, seeing if he'll swing after a curveball away. See if he brings that inside again on him. He does, and he makes contact with it, and that ball will find the turf. But again, the runners had to hold up, so it is just a one-station movement, but the bases are loaded now with Ethan Bath's single. Roth on third base, Latko on second base, and that will bring up Max Heineman.
Hey, you can also run the clock out by continuing to get hits.
Mm-hmm. Manderson, who made the final out, will come in and run for Bass, the pitcher, as a courtesy runner. So we'll reset that. It was Patty Roth at third base, Addison Latko at second, and now Luke Manderson running at first. Bases loaded, one out. Max Heineman looks at the first pitch. Swings at that one, sends it foul towards the dugout. Fortunately, it was low towards the dugout and hit the little mock wall they have there, so nobody got one in the shin or the chest. Heineman sends that one to right field. There's a lot of room out there. That's going to fall. Heineman's going to have trouble not running down Manderson. Two runs are going to come in.
Speaking of Major League, they
Yeah.
almost had two guys back-to-back, but they'll hold them up.
So a double for Heineman, drives in a pair. And time is getting nigh here for Rip City. 2 more runs across. It is 10-5, but we're ticking down to the 2-hour time limit. This game started right at about 3:01:32, so Manderson at third base, Heineman at second base for Ben Kuglich. Ben's 2 for 2 so far on the day, has a double, a run scored, and an RBI single, so looking to add to the damage. And as we mentioned, this showcase is called the Power Showcase, so
Nice backhand play by Short. Perfect throw.
Nick Smith has made a lot of good plays, but guess what that is? Another productive out, as that'll bring in Manderson, making this game 11-5. So an RBI ground out for Ben Kuglich.
Wisconsin Elite continually able to get runners in when they're in scoring position. It's very impressive.
Bobby Idell will step into the plate. With 2 outs, runner on second base. Max Heineman again at second base after his 2 RBI double. Swings over that first pitch. 0-1 to Idell. Throws that curveball again, just outside 1-1. Idell drove in a run in the 4th inning and scored a run in the 3rd inning after walking, so he's had a pretty good day at the plate as well. Two and two. Living on the outside corner is Hezekiah Rodriguez, and it is working for him today.
It worked for Greg Maddox.
Yep.
And Tommy Glavin.
That ball dies just in, but the center fielder runs underneath it. Excellent play by Alex Welk out there in center field. Tracking that ball and making the catch, but 4 big runs there for the Wisconsin Elite. Looks like we're going to have time to play one more inning, folks, so stick with us, come back and see us. 11-5, Wisconsin Elite leads Rip City Raiders. We'll be back.
Back here at Tropicana Field, Malachi Perez with Jared Guthrie as the Rip City Raiders have one last chance to try to push some runs across before this time limit hits. And I'll turn it over to Jared Guthrie for the play-by-play of the top of the 7th.
Yeah, I made a mistake on that last out. That was Hunter Dodson who made the running underneath it in center field, and he's up here. He skies one to shortstop. Ben Kuglich makes that play for the first out of the 7th inning. Rip City down to their final 2 outs. Pete Stefanos up for the Rip City Raiders. Stefanos is 0 for 2 on the day. Maybe he can pick up a hit and get his team going here. That ball is inside, ball 1.
Ethan Bass continues on the mound after having a little bit of a rough patch with a couple well-struck balls, a home run and a double, but came back to settle down. And he's trying to finish it off for the Elite. Here's the 1-1. Drilled to second base. Fielded nicely and over to first.
Max Heineman there for the makes the catch and throws over to Bogdanovich for the out. Down to their final out here, Rip City.
So this will be Brennan Niles trying to keep hope alive. This is strike one. Ethan Bass will be ecstatic that he was able to get through the final two for his team, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
That could bode well for the Wisconsin Elite tomorrow.
Strike two. Ball.
Two and two, two outs. Brennan Niles awaits the pitch.
What a performance there. 7 strikeouts, 6 innings pitched, 1 run for Ethan Bass there. Coming in relief after the 4-run first inning for Rip City. 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 hits, 1 run. A tremendous effort. The Elite get a 2 for 3 day from Ben Kuglich with 2 RBIs and a double. The home run, inside the park home run for Luke Anderson. The Wisconsin Elite take this one 11-5 in our third game of the day. Terrific game. Any final thoughts there, Mikey?
Just another exciting game for our third game. We got one more coming up at 5:45, and then we'll have 4 games again tomorrow. So join us back here at about 5:40, and we'll get the nightcap on for you for Stream Live Tampa. Mikey Perez from the Power Showcase Pro Series.